Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time it's a werewolves themed family house, and of course I'm building it here in Moonwood Mill, which is of course the world that we just got in the werewolves game pack. So this house has 3 bedrooms, one for a toddler, one for a child, and then one for 2 parents, but there's also a garage space and like 3 bathrooms. Although the bathrooms are quite small, you probably wouldn't want to convert one of them into a bedroom, but the garage or the garden shed I think could easily be turned into more bedrooms if you guys have a larger household. But I think a 4-sim family home is a pretty good size, and yeah, I really love the way it turned out. I had a lot of fun building this home. As you can see, I'm working on like the front area and the side of the house, trying to figure out how the porch is going to go, and I think it's a really interesting shape. I was looking on Pinterest, as I always do, but yeah, I saw this exterior illustration that inspired me, but then I was also looking at like mid-century style homes, and so it's somewhat of a combination of the different things I was looking at. So it's kind of a different looking home, but I think it's really interesting, and I think it's just really cute. And I also tried to make it look pretty dirty, so you'll notice lots of stains on the exterior. There's scratches and cracks and ripped wallpaper. Oh, I forgot to actually use one of the ripped wallpaper textures that came with the werewolves pack, but I used the one that came from, I believe it was vampires. But those packs go so well together. Vampires, Strangerville, the werewolves pack, just I think like the style of them are pretty, they're not similar, they're very different styles, but they're somehow all 3 cohesive, and I end up using those 3 packs quite a bit. But yeah, as you can see, the house in the thumbnail is brown, but the house is white right now. I end up changing it I think before I go to the interior. I just felt like it needed a different color. I don't know what was bothering me exactly about the white, but I just needed some other color. And so I changed it to brown. I think that's because we're here in the woods, and the brown makes it feel more like it belongs in the nature, I guess, like it's made of wood. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I guess that's kind of what I was thinking. And I think it was a good change, and I think it still shows some of like the dirtiness, but not quite as much. I didn't want the home to look like it wasn't clean. I just wanted it to look old and worn and just kind of just not as well taken care of as, you know, some of the other houses maybe in the other world. So yeah, that's what I was going for. I end up using the wall texture that came with this pack on the garden shed because I thought about using it on the exterior of the house, but it was a little bit too worn looking, I think, for the main house, but I think it worked perfectly for the garden shed. So this half of the house, you can kind of see the mid-century look, like the split level appearance that I was going for here. Or you might be able to tell. Maybe it's not that obvious if you're not looking at like the reference pictures that I was looking at. If I remember, I'll try to put them up on screen so you guys can see what I was looking at. But it's a weird combination, I think, of the two, but I think somehow it works in this world. And then here for the landscaping, I basically just tried to use a combination of different bushes that I thought looked nice in here. We got lots of really nice evergreen trees with this pack. You can find them in the live edit objects, and I just try to place them pretty organically looking. At least that's what I was going for. I didn't want this build to look like it had a really manicured yard or garden or anything, so I tried to make it look more natural and more like it blended into the world. Although I ran into something that I thought was kind of interesting. So when I've built on the previous lots in this world, I actually used the tool mod to add more trees because I feel like there's so much dead space around the lots in this world, and it drives me crazy because I really want the builds to look like they're nestled into the forest, because I think that would just look the best in screenshots, and it just feels more natural that way rather than having like this large clearing around the edge of the lot. And so I tried placing trees just for screenshot purposes with the tool mod, but on this particular lot I couldn't do that, and I think that's because the Sims can't actually walk in those areas. I'm sure there's a way to place them anyways with the tool mod, I'm just not sure how, and I didn't take the time to look it up, but maybe it's possible. Let me know if you guys know. But I would have loved to place some more trees, and for my save file when I start working on this world, I would like to add more trees and bushes around the lots because it just looks so empty, and I feel like it needs more. So yeah, you'll see me mess around with that here in just a little while, but right now I'm working out the floor plan. I really wanted to make sure the floor plan made sense before finishing the exterior. I try to remember to do this, but sometimes I'm not that good at it. Good at remembering anyways. So yeah, I think the floor plan actually ended up making a lot of sense. There's a space for the garage, there's a downstairs bathroom, there's a dining room, a kitchen, a living room, and then the entryway has like the staircase leading up to the second floor, and on the second floor there's a shared bathroom for the children. There's a landing area with like a few decorations, and then there's 2 kids' rooms, one for a toddler and one for a kid, and then there's the parents' room, and they actually have an ensuite bathroom. I wasn't originally planning on giving an ensuite bathroom, but I had the room for it, so it just kind of worked out pretty nice that way. And for the home, I basically just tried to decorate something that I thought complemented the exterior of the build, and I think it's really cute. It feels like cozy and like homey, even though I was going for a little bit more of like a worn, dirty appearance. I feel like it still feels really cozy and kind of like nice and warm somehow. So you guys have to let me know if you guys agree. But over here is going to be the garden / woodshed. Basically, I was wanting to use some other objects that I haven't used in the previous builds. I haven't used this particular swatch of the roof, and the one on the house too I hadn't used yet, but this one has like clear spaces, so I guess they're like little skylights. And I also hadn't got an opportunity to use the door on the woodshed or the windows. I was going to use that door on the main part of the house, but once I placed it on the woodshed, I didn't think it was necessary to have it on the main house too, so I just swapped that out for a base game one, and I think that made it look more cohesive because the windows are, in a similar style, and they just kind of match a little bit better. So yeah, here I'm just continuing with the landscaping and adding different activities and stuff around the lot. I added some planter boxes. These are actually new planter boxes with the game pack as well, so that's pretty cool to get another planter box. It's very similar to the one that we got with Outdoor Retreat, as in like they're both more worn looking and also maybe a little bit more handmade looking. So I really like that, and I like the swatches and stuff too, and I think those look really cute over there. And then here I'm also adding some rocks to the exterior. These rocks actually came with cats and dogs. There are rocks in the surrounding area of this world, and they don't necessarily match in like color and texture, but I really like the way these like particular rocks place, and I think they just look really good mixed in with like the trees and the bushes and stuff. Over here on this side of the house, I do have a little yard space where I place a swing set, and then over here in like the back part of it, I just try to fill it in with trees and make it look like it's just part of the forest, even though there's so much dead space leading into the forest. I really wish it was more dense and full looking. I mean, it still looks good. I just feel like there could be more landscaping around the lot. So let me know if you guys agree. But anyways, yeah, here I'm just continuing with the landscaping. Here on the back of the build, I also have this fire pit that came with the little campers kit that came out recently. I'm also using this outdoor dining table that came with that set as well. There's a barbecuer back here, and then I also have a chicken coop. I thought that would be kind of fun to have some chickens on this lot. I don't think this is, like a farm or anything. I don't think they harvest the eggs to sell necessarily. They're just for like personal use and stuff. So yeah, I thought that was kind of fun, and I think it's super cute. But yeah, over here is the swing set. I placed it in the black color. We do have a wooden one that came with Island Living, but it's just too tropical looking. I tried placing it in this lot, but it didn't look right. And then we got the one from the little campers kit, but that one is too cutesy and nice looking for this build. But yeah, here you can see I was trying to place a tree with the tool mod. I try again here in just a moment because I thought maybe I was just doing something wrong, but I wasn't. I've ran into this before when Sims can't actually navigate through an area, then you can't just click and place objects with the tool mod, but there might be another way with like the move feature, or I know there's some other features that I'm just not really familiar with. I definitely need to watch some like more tutorials and learn more about it, because I feel like there's so much more that I could be like doing with the tool mod. But yeah, here I was continuing with the landscaping around the build. I actually end up moving the fire pit closer to the fence, and then I add more landscaping at the back of the build. Basically I did this because I wasn't sure what else I could place back here that would fill in the patio area. I don't know, I tried placing like these little bug houses, and I thought about placing a tent, and I don't know, I didn't really find anything that I thought suited the style of it. So I figured more greenery and more bushes and stuff would just look better to make it feel more woodsy, basically. And the lights on the exterior of the house, I used the ones that came from Cottage Living, the little lanterns. I thought that was pretty cute. And then on the garden shed, I used the light that came from Strangerville. I thought that looked pretty nice. And then the wood that I'm using on the exterior of the garden shed came from my wedding stories. And I'm really happy that I remembered it, because there's been a few builds that I've done since that pack was released. And like after the fact, I realized that like wood pile would have been perfect for that particular build, and I always kind of like kick myself. So I'm happy that I remembered it here. Of course, we got these cool wood piles of like, you know, the logs, and then there's also a little it's more like an indoor firewood holder. I'm not sure what you would call that, but it came with this pack and it's super cute. So that's definitely something you could place as well. And I was just going through some of the live edit objects that came with this pack. There's a really cool like trailer house with some boarded up windows, and I was thinking about maybe placing it in like the woodsy area. That way you could kind of like see it from the house and pretend that it was somebody that lived nearby or something. But yeah, I don't know. I decided not to. I really wish those windows would have actually came with the pack though. I was kind of disappointed when I saw them in the trailer. I thought they were going to be a new type of window with boards on them, or at least wall decorations that were, you know, just boards that we could add ourselves. But it's just a live edit object and they're stuck to that house. So it's kind of unfortunate. But anyways, here is the garden shed. So in the garden shed, I'm just adding some counters and clutter items. I merged this decorative potting table that came with, I believe, the Eco Lifestyle pack, and I wanted it to look like it was part of these counters. I mean, they're not like the same wood tone or anything, but I still think it looks good, and I like how messy that counter is with like all the dirt spilt everywhere. I think that's pretty cute. And then there's the woodworking table over here, and then other than that, there's just some like bookcases in here, some tires, some clutter pieces that came from Cottage Living, and also the punching bag that came with this game pack as well. So just another activity. And then over here, I'm just trying to find something to place on this shelf. Everything that I wanted to place would not fit on a shelf surface. And there's just so many things in the game that look like they would be small enough, but they actually aren't small enough to fit on a shelf. But I found something and it all worked out. But yeah, no biggie. Over here, I am placing the new telescope. We did get one with the game pack, but we also got this one from a base game update, and I thought this one worked perfectly for this build. I think the child in this home really loves space and science and astronomy and basically everything that has to do with space and science. They're all about it. And I think the child really isn't into being a werewolf, but I feel like they're a very strong and powerful werewolf, and they're like probably 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10, something like that. I don't know, they're a child sim, and they're starting to feel like their werewolfness, whatever the word is for that, coming on, and they're starting to notice things, but they're really trying to hide it. I'm not sure how that works exactly in the game, if a child is technically a werewolf or they become one when they're an adult, or how this works exactly, because I just haven't really paid attention to gameplay, so please forgive me. But for storytelling purposes, I think they're starting to notice their werewolf effects like come on in like their body and like their strength, and maybe some extra hair that's not normal for a child of their age, but they're trying to hide it and ignore it and keep it from their parents and peers because they don't really want to be a werewolf. And so when the child comes of age, they'll have to accept that about themselves and find their, love about themselves and that kind of thing, and becoming a werewolf. And yeah, but they just want to be a scientist, and they just want to immerse themselves in space and like everything to do with science and that particular thing. But hopefully they don't lose that when they're learning about their werewolfness and growing with that and learning. Maybe they could use their werewolf powers for science. I'm not really sure exactly where I'm going with this, but that's kind of the general idea that I was thinking of when I was building this house and decorating the kids' room specifically. And then for the toddler's room, I just decorated a cute toddler's room. The toddler doesn't have that interesting of a story, but I tried to just kind of make a little nature-themed toddler room. I pretty much just wanted to use the new toddler bed that came in this game pack. And then for the parents, I think one of the parents is really into gardening because I did add the planter boxes in the gardening shed. And then one of the other parents, I think, is more into like woodworking and I think fishing. And they're just really like more nature-loving werewolves, which I think is pretty cute. And yeah, I like the idea, and I think this is just a really cozy family home. As you can see, I'm working on the kitchen. I talked over the dining room, but you immediately walk into the house and there's a staircase. To the right is where I placed the dining room, and I actually really liked this floor plan. I think normally I probably would have tried to place the dining room somewhere by the living room, but I think this actually works really nicely, and it's very separate from the living area, and I think that actually works pretty nice for this build. And I like the way the kitchen turned out with the island and like the pots hanging from the ceiling. Over here is going to be the living room. The living room gave me a little bit of trouble trying to place the furniture. I wanted it to be more open, so I was trying to place like the couch along the right side of the room, but then it just felt awkward and like off balance somehow. And so what I end up doing is placing 2 of those recliners over on the right side of the room, and then I merged 2 of the couches together to look like a sectional sofa. So you see that here in just a moment. And then I also add a bookcase, some paintings, some plants, and lights, all those kinds of things. I thought about adding that arts and crafts table that came with the little camper's kit, but I don't know, I didn't quite like the way it looked here in the living room, so I decided against it. But here I did place 2 of those couches next to each other. I also changed the swatch of them to be the one that's more of like this brown one. Looking back though, I think I kind of like the orange and red. It's very different than any of the other colors in the home, and it's kind of contrasting, but somehow I like it. At the time I thought it just like didn't match anything and it looked kind of strange, but yeah, watching this back, I think it actually looks kind of nice. So you can switch that back pretty easily if you prefer it. And then I just placed this little corner cabinet that came from Cats and Dogs, or I guess it's more of a shelf. But yeah, it has some pretty nice swatches on it, and I thought the wood swatch worked nicely here. And then I also sized up this werewolf statue that's like crawling on this rock. And then there's also a decoration from the debug menu that's like a little lid display. I'm not sure what that's about, but I thought that looked pretty cute there, along with some books and a light as well. And then over here is where I have the 2 recliners, and then there's a table in between them with some flowers on it, which I thought looked pretty nice. Yeah, so that's it for the whole like living area, kitchen, and dining. And then to the right side of the build is where the garage is going to be, and then also the downstairs bathroom. The downstairs bathroom is fairly simple, but I do get a stand-up shower in here, as well as, you know, a toilet and sink. And so it's a fully like functional full bathroom, but the bathrooms upstairs do have the shower and tub combo, so that's great for like the toddler, or if you have like a dog in the build. I did add that shelf that came from Cats and Dogs that has like the dog leash and like the collars and stuff hanging from it. I added that in the garage, but I didn't put a food bowl anywhere, so yeah, maybe I should have. I don't know. But if you want to have a dog, there is, you know, that one decoration. You can easily add a food bowl wherever it suits you for gameplay and that kind of stuff. And then here in the hallway, I was going to add that cuckoo clock, but I do actually end up removing it later on because I felt like it looked a little bit weird being along the same wall as that wall light. And then I found something I wanted to place there instead. I think it was the broom. And I meant to place the cuckoo clock again somewhere else in the build, but I forgot about it. So that's a shame because it's a really cute item. But anyways, over here is the garage. In the garage, I'm using these new curtains that came with the game pack. I really love these. They look like they're supposed to be like bed sheets or something draped over the windows, and I think they're so fun, and I like the swatches and the colors of them. I think are super cute. And then over here, I do have a washer and dryer. I thought that was kind of nice to have the laundry here in the garage. And then other than that, in the garage, it's like purely decorative stuff that's like not very functional, but of course the washer and dryer is functional. And I placed this like rundown car in here. I thought that was pretty fun to have in the garage. Maybe they're working on it, although it's just like the frame of the car. It has no engine or any other parts, but maybe they plan to use it for something at some point. So yeah, I also placed a couple of laundry baskets in here instead of placing them in the bedrooms. Some of you guys have said before in the past that it's nice to have the laundry baskets close to the washer and dryer. That way your Sims aren't running around the entire house trying to collect the laundry from like a bunch of different rooms. So I'll try to do that more often, although sometimes I just don't really have space next to where I place the washer and dryer. So when I do, I'll try to place them next to it. And then here, moving on to the second floor, I have this landing area that I was talking about. And here I just placed a lamp and a side table and some paintings. I really like these paintings that we got with like the scratches across the vampires' faces. There's also a landscape one that I wish we would have got without the scratches because it looks so pretty, and I would have used it in probably so many different builds. But it's a super fun painting, and I used it quite a bit in this build. But yeah, here I'm just adding some like floor details to the bathrooms upstairs. I really wanted to add more of like a dirtier appearance, I guess, to the bathrooms. So the stains on the floor were perfect, and they came with Strangerville, in case you guys are wondering. So they're a really fun thing to add that like extra detail and like, I don't know, story to the house. Like they've had leaking pipes and water issues and they just haven't had like the money or time to repair them, or maybe they are repaired but they haven't had the money to like fix the damages that the leaks have caused. So I like that. Over here is a little like study nook leading into the parents' bedroom. I did not notice this item when I was building the other lots. And I also didn't notice that bookcase. So these two items I just didn't realize came with this pack, but they're so good. The desk is made out of like an old door, which I thought was super fun. And I think it looks so cute in here, just like a nice little like study nook. And I was really pleased to find this item because it caught me by like total surprise. And the bookcase too. I'm not sure how I overlooked the bookcase because I noticed the other bookcase. I don't know. I've been moving, so I'm going to blame it on that because I've been very distracted. But I'm all moved now, and now it's just been setting up the house. That's why videos have been very delayed the last couple of weeks, because a lot has been going into this move. And yeah, we're getting settled now. We have an IKEA like 10 minutes from my house. And I am obsessed. I went earlier today, and I went yesterday, and I went the day before, and I have a problem. But I have an excuse. I did get rid of a lot of things in our move. We sold lots of stuff. We donated lots of stuff, and other things were just junk and broken, and we got rid of those. And so I needed new things. And so IKEA is providing those new things for me. And I have a bit of a problem. I'm going to try to not go there tomorrow because I've gone too much already. But yeah, I've never lived near an IKEA. Like the closest IKEA at my last place was like an hour away. So I'm very excited about it. But anyways, over here is the parents' bedroom. The parents' bedroom, I think, is really cute, really cozy. I decided to use this bed that came from Cottage Living. I thought the green swatch looked really nice on the bed. And I tried placing that wall shelf. You may have saw me like place it just for a moment. That came with this game pack, but it is so big. And I could have sized it down, of course, and placed it on the wall anyways. But unfortunately, when you size down things like shelves, the slot points don't size down with them. So when I went to go, like, you know, if I would have placed items on the shelf, they would have been floating in weird places, and I would have had to do a bunch of move objects or things with the tool mod to place things correctly. And then when you'd have the walls in cutaway mode, they'd just be floating in midair, and that always bothers me. So I try to avoid it when possible. So yeah, I ended up not using the shelf for that reason, but hopefully I'll find a place to use it in a future build. But over here is going to be the parents' ensuite bathroom. The bathroom is fairly simple. It's very similar to the other bathrooms, except for this one does have like a full counter space instead of the single sink decoration. And so I thought that was kind of nice. I was able to add a bit more things in here, which I think makes sense for a parent's bathroom. So that works for me. And it's nice and cozy, and I like the colors. I really like the browns and like the rich tones of it. Just something about it feels really nice and cozy. So yeah, over here is going to be the toddler's room. I absolutely adore this toddler's room. I went for a green color scheme, and as you can probably tell, I was inspired by the bed because it has some green in the quilt, and then also this curtain decoration around the frame. I'm not sure what you call that exactly. Has a green swatch on it too, so I thought that was pretty cute. And then other than that, I just tried to find decorations that I thought went nicely with the green and just looked a little bit more like woodland is what I was going for. And so this dollhouse I thought was perfect. I also add a base game bookcase in here. I use this dresser that came from Cottage Living, and then I just add a few other decorations that I thought looked nice. Over here I do place a side table, and I was trying to find items to put on top of it, and it looked okay, but I end up actually using the little storage compartments that came from Dream Home Decorator. They're not actually bookshelves or storage whatsoever. They're purely decorative, but they have really nice swatches, and I think they look really cute in kids' rooms and toddler rooms and stuff. The only thing that I'm still really struggling with when decorating like nurseries and toddler rooms is the artwork. That we don't have a whole lot of artwork that looks like it belongs in a nursery or a toddler room. Like there's very few pieces. There's like dinosaurs and like a bunny and like there's just not very many. So I wish we would get some more. Hopefully soon we will see. But yeah, over here I do place this one wall decoration that came from Eco Lifestyle. Thought that looked pretty cute, and you'll see me swap out this side table for those one things that I was talking about here. This is what I was talking about. I think this swatch looks so cute in here. It's not the particularly like cutesy kids looking one. There's two of those. One has like bright was it green, or is it just like orange and blue and red, I think, and the other one is more pinks and purples, but this swatch matched the color scheme pretty nicely. Over here is going to be the kids' room. So like I was saying, the kid is really into space, so I used this bed that came from the little campers kit, and of course we have various posters from so many different packs that work well with a space theme. Like this is one of the easiest themes to decorate in The Sims, because there's things for adults, things for teens, things for kids, and so many decorations in a space theme. So it's really fun for me to decorate with this because there's a lot of different options, and I feel like even though I've done this theme for a lot of different Sims before, they somehow all don't look the same. Like there's a lot of variation in the different items, and I just love them. And I think this room is super cute. Over here I do have a TV, which I thought was pretty fun. I meant to add a video game console, but I forgot about one. So you might want to add one if you want your child Sim to play some video games. I would definitely fit in here. I also add a chair over here next to the dresser. And then other than that, I just add like a few other decorations on like the side tables and a few other wall items. Over here I do add some of these postcards I thought were pretty cute. And of course I used some of the school projects that came from Parenthood. I used the completed versions. You can find them by turning on the Show Hidden Objects cheat, and they're great clutter pieces in a lot of kids' rooms. Like I use them in kids' rooms all the time, and especially space ones, because there's a lot of different variations for that. So yeah, this is it for the build. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!